My grateful thanks to the Arab Organization for Human Rights for its invitation for me to join this distinguished panel to talk about the burning issue of the moment, which is the future of Palestine and the future in particular of Gaza. This is one of the most combustible political and legal issues in the world today. After 16 months of total war, Gaza has been flattened, and it resembles Dresden, Berlin, or Tokyo at the end of the Second World War. It is full of rubble. It is full of unexploded bombs and hazardous munitions waste. And most importantly, there are 2.2 million Palestinians living there without housing, without access to quality health care, without schools, without universities, without jobs, and without easy access to food or water or sanitation. This devastation, we must remember, has not been the result of a natural event, such as an earthquake or a tsunami. This is entirely a human catastrophe, a genocide, something that we outlawed in international law more than 75 years ago as the crime of crimes. The issue that we are addressing today is the rebuilding of Gaza and the responsibility of the United Nations and the global North. In my brief remarks today, I'm going to speak about international law and the United Nations in two ways: what must be prevented and what must it push for. So first, what international law and the UN must work hard to prevent is the forced displacement or ethnic cleansing of Gaza. Let's keep in mind that the Trump and Netanyahu threat to empty Gaza of the Palestinians and to enable Israeli annexation of the Strip is profoundly illegal on three related counts. First of all, this ethnic cleansing would amount to, in law, the forced displacement, which is a serious violation of the Geneva Conventions of 1949, and both Israel and the United States, as every other country in the world, have signed on the Geneva Conventions. Second, forced displacement is listed as both a war crime and a crime against humanity under the 1998 Rome Statute, which created the International Criminal Court. Now, neither Israel nor the United States have signed on to the ICC and the Rome Statute, but the International Criminal Court has ruled that the Rome Statute does apply to the occupied Palestinian territory, East Jerusalem, the West Bank, and Gaza, and therefore both Israeli and American political leaders could be criminally liable for initiating a forced displacement. And third, the UN Security Council adopted a ceasefire resolution in June of 2024, Resolution 2735. This resolution was initiated by the United States, and the U.S. said during the debates at the Security Council that Israel supported the resolution. The Security Council resolution specifically condemned any forced displacement of Palestinians in Gaza. The resolution read, and I quote, that the Security Council rejects any attempt at demographic or territorial change in the Gaza Strip. Look, there we have it. Forced displacement is a serious breach of international law, and no amount of disguising it as a humanitarian gesture alters that fact. It violates international law precisely because it creates great human suffering and ignites political instability and territorial conquest, all leading to more wars and infinite conflict. My second point goes to what the United Nations and international law should be pushing for with respect to Gaza and the Palestinians. And the answer is simple: Palestinian self-determination. The right of the Palestinians to self-determination is embodied in countless UN resolutions and has been embedded into international law by the advisory opinion of the International Court of Justice from last July, which said, and I'm quoting here, that, quote, by virtue of the right to self-determination, a people is protected against acts aimed at dispersing the population and undermining its integrity as a people. The court also said, and I'm quoting, a key element of the right of self-determination is the right of a people freely to determine its political status and to pursue its economic, social, and cultural development. And thirdly, the International Court of Justice said that the dependence of the West Bank, East Jerusalem, especially the Gaza Strip, on Israel for the provision of basic goods and services impairs the enjoyment of fundamental human rights, in particular, the right of self-determination. So, central to any discussion of the future of Gaza that this conversation revolves first and foremost around the Palestinian people themselves. Nothing about them without them. The reconstruction of Gaza, how Gaza will be governed, how Gaza's security will be protected, how it will be connected geographically, politically, and legally to the rest of Palestine will be for the Palestinians themselves to determine within the broad space that the right to self-determination protects. International law and UN resolutions on Palestine provides the way forward. Only a rights-based approach to imagining the future of Israeli Jews and Palestinian Arabs living together in the land between the river and the sea will lead us to a place of justice, prosperity, and peace. And my final point, let me offer a provocative issue. Why can't the Palestinians, if the Palestinians are going to have to be displaced and displaced only temporarily from Gaza while the reconstruction of Gaza begins, why not allow them, and particularly the two-thirds of the Palestinians in Gaza, who are the refugees of 1948 or the descendants of refugees from 1948, return to their homes and their properties in what is now Israel? Resolution 194, adopted by the United Nations in December 1948, provided the Palestinian refugees with the right to return. Resolution 194 has been reaffirmed virtually every year since by the General Assembly. It is the most reaffirmed resolution in the history of the United Nations General Assembly. No one in the global north is putting Israel as a destination where Palestinians might relocate either temporarily or permanently. Why not allow them to have the choice as guaranteed by international law and Resolution 194? Thank you very much.